Hello, and welcome back to my sort of lockdown edition of my vlogs. Um, I guess I'm going to jump straight into it. There's loads of things that we've all been missing while we've been locked down, and we totally get why we need to be locked down. Actually, as I've started recording this, there's all sorts of rumours that in the UK there's going to be some announcement over the weekend that means that lockdown measures are going to start being eased. I don't want to speculate on what those might be because I feel like that's irresponsible. But watch not this space necessarily, although I may mention them once they've been announced. But if you're watching this from the UK, keep your eye on the news over the weekend because there's going to be something coming out explaining what we are going to be allowed to do and what we're not going to be allowed to do. So, there are things I'm sure we've all been missing. I know I've been missing lots of things. There's the obvious things, such as just going outside enough. I'm a very outdoorsy person and I love going for walks. My normal routine when I'm usually at work is that I will get up and then I walk to work, and it takes me just over half an hour to walk to work. I love my walks. I love my early morning walks. And it doesn't matter what time of year it is either. It can be pitch dark, freezing cold in the middle of winter, or it can be the middle of summer and the sun's already been up for about 2 or 3 hours by the time I come to have my daily walk to work. There's always something different, there's always something new. It's an exciting world out there. Okay, there's the usual faces that I seem to pass on my walk every day, because clearly they've got a similar sort of schedule to me, similar sort of time routine. But it's those little things that I miss, just being able to go outside whenever I want. At weekends I could go out for several walks, I can go out whenever I want. You just take for granted the fact that you can just leave your house and go out. So all I really want is to be able to go for walks more than once a day. Once a day is really not cutting it for me. My average daily steps at the moment is roughly around 2,500 steps a day. I'm used to doing about 15,000 steps a day. This is how different it is for me. I could spend my entire day doing circuits of my back garden and probably still not come up with the same number of steps that I normally do. Okay, this does me, this is from the entire day, so it's the walk to work and home again, a walk at lunchtime, and any walking around that I do during the day. I work for a faculty that's quite spread out, so I'm quite often walking to and from different buildings. But even if I take that out, I just miss my walks. I really do miss my walks. So that's one thing that I'm really looking forward to again. Then we come to the slightly stupider things, and I know this sounds really dumb, and I'm really hoping that this can get rectified sooner rather than later. KFC. There is something addictive in a KFC. You can have fried chicken from anywhere. But for some reason, and I am not sponsored by KFC to say this, I just really like fried chicken. I mean, look at me. Clearly I like fried chicken. Come on. I mean, I'm not going to pretend I'm something I'm not. But, I mean, this is what lockdown does. More than anything, lack of exercise. Yeah, I miss KFC. It's a weird thing, but all my local restaurants are closed. There is one in the centre of town near me that has reopened, but it's slightly too far away and would not count as an essential travel thing, I'm sure. But I thought I'd get the really stupid one out of the way. I'm also really missing the cinema. Now, we don't go to the cinema an awful lot, but ever since the Marvel films have been out and we have been together, me and my husband always go and see the Marvel films, and by now there should have been, I think, at least one if not two Marvel films released this year. They've been postponed, they've been pushed back, fine, so we know we are going to get to see them at some point. But it's things like that I was really looking forward to, that and the James Bond film. Now the only good thing about that is hopefully the cinemas will be open by the time my birthday comes around. That's in November, I'm recording this in May, that's 6 months, so fingers crossed we should be able to go to the cinema under fairly normal circumstances, at least in November. James Bond has now been pushed back to just before my birthday. So I'm hoping that that's going to be the thing I get to do for my birthday, is go and see the new James Bond film. For me, that kind of works out a bit better. But I was really looking forward to April coming around and seeing these films. So the cinema is something that actually I miss a lot more than I thought I would. Even though we don't go that often, it's something that I took for granted that I could just go whenever I wanted to go and see a pretty decent film. Work. I never thought I'd say this, but I actually really miss going to work. It's not just the walking that I've talked about already, it's the actual being at work. And I was thinking about this the other day. I'm able to do pretty much 100% of my job. Not quite 100%, but majority of my job I can do from home. I've got a pretty good setup. I'm lucky. Years ago my husband built me a gaming PC. I can do my job from home. But there's so much more to it than just sitting at a desk and doing work on a PC. It's the social interactions that I really, really miss. I mean, at the moment, I'm talking to you through this camera, and that's fine because I've been doing vlogs for a number of years. I'm used to talking directly to the camera. But when you're talking to people on a video messaging service, you're not looking at the camera, you're trying to look at the person's face, you're trying to look at the screen, and as you can see now, I'm looking at my screen rather than my camera. My eyes are looking a little bit down. So that's what the other person is seeing. So you're not making proper eye contact in the way that you would normally when you're physically with somebody. If I look at the camera, it looks like I'm making eye contact with you. But then I can't really see the screen properly, it's almost in my lower peripheral vision. So those kinds of social interactions that we kind of take for granted, and that's what I've really been missing out on. Someone dropping by my office and saying, do you want to go for a coffee and a quick chat? And just dropping out of the office for 5 or 10 minutes, taking a break from the screen to just go and grab a coffee, piece of cake or something, I don't know, and just sit down and have a chat with somebody somewhere. And it's those networking sessions that are so important. It's that spontaneity during the day that's so important. At the moment, all of my social interactions have to be scheduled in. Someone, if they want to speak to me just randomly, has to send me a message first and say, are you available to talk now? Or I have to schedule in a meeting that says, okay, in 3 hours time I'm going to be speaking to my line manager, or even friends. I have a lot of friends at work, and we would have these social interactions during the day. We'd go to lunch together or whatever, but now we have to actually properly schedule in breaks at the same time to ensure that the other person is available. You can't just drop by and go, fancy a break? That sucks. The social aspect of work is something that I've been missing a lot more than I realised. I didn't realise how much of an impact it had on my daily life. And those networks are so important for not just keeping in touch with people, but doing your work. You get to know people and you get to know who you can approach, and you miss out on those networks that are so important for you doing your work. Another thing, completely unrelated to work, that I'm missing out on at the moment is Supernatural. Don't ask me how, but I have managed to watch everything that has been broadcast. That is, wherever America has got up to, I have seen all of season 15 as far as they've got up to. Now, unfortunately, as any Supernatural fan will tell you, season 15 was due to be the last final series. It's been running for 15 years, and I want to take this opportunity to thank all of the cast and crew and every writer, everyone who's played a part in bringing that show to life, because it's an amazing show. I love that show. You may realise that I am a little bit obsessed with it, but it was due to come to an end. And I'd kind of got it into my head that, okay, Monday the 18th of May will be the final day that Supernatural will air an episode. That's when we find out finally what happens to Sam and Dean, and everything is put to rest. No. Unfortunately, the timing of this pandemic meant that there are still 2 episodes to be filmed. Now, don't know about you, but it's 7th of May as I'm recording this, and I don't think they're going to get 2 episodes filmed, edited, and ready to air. Because by now they should already have started airing the final few episodes again. They had to take a break. Which means we're going to kind of get a 2-part series. A split series, almost to season 16, if you will, for the final few episodes. Which is great. It means that we've still got something to look forward to, and it drags out the ending. But when you've already got it into your head that this is it, you're approaching the final run, you can start to see some of the relationships of the characters changing, coming up to the finale. you kind of make peace with it. You've already done your grieving for losing the show, and you're just kind of looking forward to seeing how it ends. A bit like people did with Game of Thrones. Say what you like about the ending to Game of Thrones. The same way anybody does with any show that they love. And now, like everything, who knows when it will end? I don't know when it's going to end. I don't know when they're going to be able to get back up to Vancouver and finish filming it. So I don't know when we're going to be able to see it aired. And that kind of gets to me. I'm missing that. Now, I am going back through it all again. My husband's watching it for the first time. And we're about halfway through, because we're just about to finish season 7. Yes, the season of dick jokes. It's totally worth watching it just to get to season 7 for the dick jokes. Anyway, we are doing this, but there's still a part of me that really craves the ending to this, because I'd hoped that I'd have seen everything by the time he got to see the ending. I'd hoped I'd watched everything through once. The rate we're going, we're probably going to get up to the same episode and be able to watch the ending together, which in itself is quite nice, but very weird, and not how I'd planned it out in my head at all. I'd planned it out that I'd have watched it all by mid-May, and then potentially by August or September or something, we would both have watched it completely through. I'd have watched it for my second time. So, we'll see how that one goes. But more than anything else, as much as I miss my TV shows, my really unhealthy food, much as I miss the cinema, work, my walks, I miss my friends and my family. It's not the same using Teams or Zoom or anything like that. It's not the same as being in the same room. I've already mentioned the social interactions at work, and it's kind of the same thing when it comes to friends and family. I miss them. And there might be an opportunity hopefully soon to see them, even if it's outside. I miss physically being with them. So that's what I'm looking forward to most when all this is over and done with, is getting back out into the world and seeing the people that I care about. Physically seeing the people that I care about. Even if I can't touch them and I can't hug them, if I can see them face to face, that will do for me for now. So to ensure that this can happen, stay indoors, stay safe, look out for any announcements that are coming out over the weekend, people of Britain, and hopefully I will see you next week. Bye bye.